Listen, girl, I know you, but you're everything I want in life. We're fighting danger like kung fu. The love I feel is deep inside. The others don't matter. It's honestly us against the world. We're the perfect team. You're my dream, and I just want it. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. To myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. To myself. To myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. To myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself. Can't get to myself.
Welcome to another stream. I'm Jay. Nice to see you again. Got some exciting stuff to show you today. This is the TGR that we'll be unboxing soon. As you can see, it's still all sealed up. Really excited to open this up and have a look at it. So we'll be opening that in a few minutes' time. So thank you very much for being with me today. It's been a while since I've done an unboxing, but this has been sat on my desk since yesterday, and I've been dying to just open it up and have a look. It is the Alice. Yeah, that's right, Pusher. And hi, Soren, good to see you in the chat. I think we've got Xander as well. I've seen Xander there. And we've got Evil Genius as well. Good afternoon, good sir. Who else have we got? Rope, nice to see you, dude. I think we've got Martin as well. Pusher was way miles away from being first in the chat, so better luck next time, man. Better luck next time. Before we start on the TGR, which I know everyone's really excited for, because I'm dead excited to have a look at it, and I know it's the pink one as well, which is one of the rarer colours chosen. But one of the other things I wanted to show you in a short while is the DevTTY Elven set. That's also come. I have had a look at that, and some of you might have seen some pictures I posted on it as well. So yeah, so we'll have a look at that in a second. Someone did ask me if I would show the progress on the VEA because I missed the last stream, so I'm just going to show this. So some of you might have seen this the other day, but this is the first half of the VEA built. As you can see, I've been testing it as well with the SATA cable. Just need to give the plate a quick polish. Got some fingerprints on there, so I'll sort that out once it's done. But it's all looking rather good, rather splendid. And it does all work, everything works, all the keys work, so that's all tested and proven now. So just got the first half of the board to do, and then we'll be able to ready. Kind of wish I'd be able to unbox mine as well. I used to wait for yours to come up. I hope it arrives soon, man. I hope it arrives soon. Yeah, the plate's it's a bit dirty because putting it together, fingerprints and stuff like that. I just need to give it a bit of a clean, so I'll get some acetone on cotton wool bud and just give it a clean up. It'll take 10 minutes and it'll look as good as new and nice and shiny when we do that. Interestingly, one of the other things I've been doing as well is the copper plate for the X75 build, which we've got a brass build done as well. We're going to rebuild the brass one with retail blacks, and we're going to build the brass one with retail blacks as well, so we can do an accurate sound comparison between the two boards. But that copper one I want to tarnish and gain a bit of patina, so that's actually sat in my shower cubicle in my ensuite at the minute, and it's been there for about 4 or 5 days. So me and the missus have been showering around a bit of a keyboard just to try and get it a bit damp, get a bit of patina on there and get that going as well. We've got Glove in the chat as well. Hey Glove, nice to see you, man. Always good to have you on the stream and about. I might have some more things I want to order from you as well soon, Glove. Might have some more bits and pieces coming your way. And we've got Fax as well. Fax in the chat. I think I owe you some money, man, for the latest round of stabs you sent me. And if anyone missed it as well on my last stream, which the VOD is on YouTube for right now, we did do a bit of a comparison between the Zeal and the EPBT stabs. Personally, they're still not as good as GMK stabs in my opinion, but we did prove that the Zeal and the EPBT stabs are exactly the same. There is no difference whatsoever between them. So if you are looking for some clear, decent stabs, then you can go for the Zeal EPBT ones, buy the EPBT ones because they're cheaper. If you're looking for the best quality stabs on the market, still hit up Fax. That's my advice. You'll have to rewatch that. Yeah, it's worthwhile. Facts. It's worthwhile having a look at it. It might steer you in a direction. I'm not sure, but yeah, you should definitely have a look at that. And Glove says he needs to get on with some moulding of caps because he's been sculpting today. Nice. I am really interested to see what your sculpting comes out, and I really did like your cable spacebar as well the other day. I don't know if you've released any pictures of that, but you should share those and get those distributed because that looks really good. And I'll be really impressed to see one of those when it's finished and up close and in person. Okay, so without any much more ado, we'll come on to the TGR in a minute. The first thing I want to show you guys is the DevTTY set. This is the Elven set. Came in the post just yesterday as well, so it's a bit of a mail day for me. So these are the this is the function row and then the top row as well. A couple of the modifiers, the arrow keys, and the all-important ISO enter. The die sub on these is actually really good quality. I don't know if it's going to pick up on camera, but there's very little. Where is it going to focus there? There's very little smudging on there. They're really good quality die subs, much better than round one. The green's really nice as well. The green's really similar to the green in Troubled Minds, so it's really similar to that green. The rest of the set, as you can see, is very similar to the muted colours. It's almost identical in terms of the shades of grey and white. Let me just put a grey mod next to it so you can see. Not much difference at all, especially in the flesh. They're really close. So it's a really nice set. And then we've just got the other tray underneath, which has more of the alphas. These are in row order. Then your modifiers sit down the sides. We've got the backspace and the rest of the modifiers. That's the TKL set up here. Yeah, really happy with it. I think it looks great. I think some of the legends look fantastic. Yeah, a shame it didn't come with a 7U spacebar. It only comes with a 6.25. But yeah, thoroughly enjoy it. So yeah. Glove says, he needs to remake that cable I mentioned before, the cable spacebar, and he's upset that he didn't join this set. Do you know what, right, I'm tempted to find another DevTTY set, just the standard one, because the feel of these caps, it's almost like they're hugging your fingertips. It's like SA but nicer, and it's PBT as well. So I think these are really nice. Even though they're die subs, I'm going to really enjoy using them. So I think I'm actually going to put them on a 268 if I can get this right hand column to work with the keys. I'll have to have a look at that, but it does do full ISO support. All of the keys are there. We'll work on that, and I'll probably have that on this board by the time it's the next stream. How similar are the SS Spacebars to the DevTTY? Let's do a bit of science. So first of all, the thing you'll notice about these is they are sculpted as Spacebars. They're not uniform. Let me grab an SA Spacebar. So if we take a look at just a standard SA spacebar, this one's pink, baby pink. I think this might be 7U actually. Yeah, 7U. Let's see if we've got 6.25. There we go, 6.25. So same in length as you'd expect. The profile's quite different. As you can see, one's sculpted and one's not. Let's see if that shows better on the black background. There you go. So you can see that the DevTTY is sculpted. It does go with the sculpting up towards the bottom, so it comes up towards the bottom of the keyboard. So it would sit like that on the keyboard, which is quite nice. So it's kind of like sculpted down into the keys, whereas the SA spacebar isn't. Same width, same length as you'd expect. Now there is some slight warping. It's PBT, so I don't know if this is going to show. There you go. You can see there is some slight warping on there. You can see my hand underneath. So we'll have to get kettle on that and try and straighten that up, but it's PBT, you kind of half expect that. But yeah, the profile's very different. Just in terms of the rounding on the corners as well, it's much more rounded. These are quite sharp compared to the DevTTY set. You can physically see, I don't know if it's going to show on here, but you can physically see in real life. There you go. You can see there that it's kind of rounded. I kind of had the corner chamfered off, but they're really good. Let's catch up with chat. Comparable to the Commodore 64 caps. Do you know what? I had them out the other day. Let me see if I've got them to hand. Where the hell did I put those? I literally had those out just the other day. Oh, they're here. Okay, so these are the Commodore 64 keycaps. This is the Commodore 64 spacebar. So again, this is sculpted in the same way. It's way longer. It's something like it's like 10U or something. You can see it's massively different. But yeah, you can see that it is sculpted very similar to the to this bar. It's slightly more rounded, but you can kind of see that there is a progression between the three. There you go. Hope that helps. Okay, so right, catching back up with chat now. We've had a look at those. Let's see what we're saying. So yes, Pusher is compatible. Rope really great for getting in the set as well. Yeah, I absolutely. I think it looks great. It's going to match my modern Hyrulean set as well. I think it looked really great having both of those boards up there. So much space in that little box. Yeah, so much space from a few SA space bars from grab bags. Some really nice ones. I really like the royal blue purple one. That's nice. A couple of pink ones. Yeah, the red one's a bit mediocre. But yeah, quite a few of those. Just happens to have a box of space bars. I've got a drawer just at the side of me that's full of keycaps. It's where I keep all my keycap sets. So there's just tubs and tubs of different coloured. Yeah, there's just tubs and tubs of it. And then we've got the rest of these keycaps. So these are actually from an old Commodore 64. They do actually have little, I don't know if you can see them, inserts to make them MX compatible. They are really nice, and again, they're very, very similar to the whole DevTTY kind of thing, very sculpted, really nice. Oh, you want to look at the alphas? Let's have a look. So these are comparable in terms of where they'd sit on a row. So these are the same row, not the same legend. So you can see these aren't quite as deep, but the sculpt is very similar. It's just the shortened height, so it's a little bit like DSA to SAR3. It's kind of that kind of reduction, but they have got the same profile on the corners that I mentioned on Spacebar. That's present on the Commodore 64 caps as well. The sculpting on the dish is very similar as well. It's actually quite sharp, much more sharp on the DevTTY set. Your finger sits right into that and doesn't want to move. It kind of almost hugs your fingertips. The same is there on the Commodore 64 caps, but it's not quite as much. It's much nicer on the DevTTY. So I think what Matteo's done is he's taken the old style cross between SA R3 and Commodore style keycaps, and then turn them into DevTTY. It seems that way anyway to me, as an uneducated guess. Okay, right, let's catch back up with chat. This was mashed up right. Did you buy SA sets? I've got loads of SA sets, yeah. I think I've got about 15 to 20 SA key sets, something like that. I've got quite a few of them dotted around the house. He was able to may have used one to make a 6U turbo switch. Possibly, yeah, you might be able to. If it wouldn't ruin the keycap, I'd let you borrow mine. I don't know if it would or not. You have to let me know. Universal plate from keyboard fans or fixed plate from Laser Boost. My opinion is always go Laser Boost. I'm working quite closely with Laser Boost themselves. Recently got them onto Discord. Them just posted on the MK UK Discord as well. I'm going to try and get them into the main Discord as well in the next couple of weeks, and they're making some changes to the website as well. So the keyboard site is going to have some standard layout plates that I'm helping them design. So a lot of them will be poker cases, things that people can just order without having to have something particularly custom designed for them. So we're going to work on that. But they're doing really well. Laser Boost are really great guys. They've actually dropped the price of the shipping as well, which is a big problem for a lot of UK folks until recently. So doing really well. What else are we talking about? Push was talking about the alphas. Sounds like the hugging of the DevTTY were comparable with the C64s. Yeah, sorry, that's exactly what I was showing. They are really, really close to that. Nice book, Smiley. Yeah, Smiley. Alright, okay. Might have to get me a set of that then. Love the feel of C64 caps. Yeah, definitely pick up some DevTTY. I'm going to try and get another set as well. Put the DevTTYs on a board. Yeah, they're going to be on the Noxry 268. I'll have them on there for next stream. So I'm going to do another stream on Sunday, which is where we'll finish the VEA build off, and what I'll do is I'll do a bit of a review of the DevTTY caps after using them for a few days as well. Got some 6.25U from PMK to try and cut to make it into a 6U, but I want the DevTTY, so I might just have to try and get my own set. Yeah, or if I get a set and it's got more than one spacebar, and I will never use a 6U spacebar, so if I get one, I will send it on to you, man. You can have it. What do I think about GMK selling grab bags? Yeah, I saw that earlier on today, actually. I think it's interesting. I think they're going to aim for Christmas. I think Querdenker was the guy who asked them if they were going to do that. I'll probably pick up one or two just to see what the bags are like, see if they're comparable to PMK grab bags, because I really like the PMK ones. I think I've got 22 kilograms of grab bags from PMK over the past couple of years, so yeah, I'll definitely check out the GMK ones as well, because I use GMK for most of my typing these days. Geo, you didn't miss that much, man. All you missed was me looking at the DevTTY keycap set and just comparing them to Commodore 64 keycaps and SA keycaps, especially the spaces for glove and the alphas for pusher. GMK Vomit Endgame. So I actually have an SA vomit board that I use quite often. There is a sound typing test. It's called the Soldering 77. It was designed by Pappyman from the MK UK server, and I use that quite often just around the house, just for bits and pieces. And I kind of like a vomit board, or unicorn build, or whatever some people want to call them. There are some pros with GMK grab bags with SPA. There's a lot of bad caps such as DSA and DCS. Yeah, that's true actually. You're only going to get one profile with the GMK grab bags. You're only going to get GMK cherry profile keycaps. You're not going to get 3 or 4 different profiles. You get some of the really old profiles as well with the PMK bags. So yeah, you are going to get you're going to have more of a known quantity. That being said, I know that Max and Chris Swires and a few other people buy the PMK grab bags purely for DSA, whereas I get them purely for the SA. And then what I tend to do is trade with those guys to get the SA keycaps, and they take the DSA ones because I'm not a fan of the flat profile. So yeah, it's worthwhile looking at. GMK Vomit, aka GMK Handerbeat. Yes, well, I want to buy the Handerbeat sets when it comes out, but I'm only going to buy it if the OP runs the OG DE Legends, the German Legends, because I think that's a really good look for the boards, and that's what I want to be able to emulate. It looks like he's going to try and do it in 2 kits. I don't think the set will be popular enough to pass off 2 different kits. I think he's going to have to put it in the base and just run a base set. I genuinely don't think that Handerbeat will run if they do that. Someone taking my the mic out of my pronunciation of Handerbeat. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that right. I'll get one of the German guys to check later on. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Those are both for DCS, DSA, few and far between. No, I get a lot of DSA keycaps in mine, and I get a lot of SA keycaps in my grab bags. I haven't bought any for a little while, but I get quite a bit. Handarbeit. Alright, okay. Well, I am proven wrong. Okay, I'll take that. Slap on the wrist. There we go. Yeah, I'm definitely going to get some of the GMK grab bags. I'm hopefully going to get some keycaps from sets that I don't have, so I can justify what the colours look like and how they'll be on different boards rather than trying to build a vomit build or anything like that. Handarbeit is a really good set. I love this set. I think it's great. I think it's really kitsch. I think it's out there. I think it's wacky as hell. I think it'll do really, really well on something like a plain black board or something like that. I think it's just a great idea for a set, especially because the origins of the original board are a bit of a mystery. It kind of builds on that. So yeah, I think it's a great set. And I think they should definitely run. Someone link Harambe up with the Geek Hack listing. It's basically a board that was found that's got a lot of GMK keycaps on, which are colourful to say the least. And it had the original German ISO DE Legends on there and all sorts of stuff like that. So yeah, it's really good. Lunatics is only after DSA Overcast. Okay, yeah, DSA Overcast is not a bad set. Again, it's flat profile, so it's not one for me. That being said, DSA Skull Squadron. Okay, so that's a set that I've always liked the aesthetics of. I'm actually talking with Matteo about potentially taking it to GMK. So you heard it here first, folks. Let me know what you think, but DSA Skull Squadron, but in GMK profile. That's what I'm hoping for. But I'm talking to Matteo about potentially doing that. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. We'll see where the conversations get to, and bit of an exclusive for you. Anyway, it's time now to move on to the main event. So this is the TGR box. It's still fully sealed up. Let's get the keyboards out of the way here. There we go. So this is the box it came in, fully unopened. As you can see, it's not been resealed or anything like that. It is fully unopened. Just grab a quick knife. Sorry, I should have prepped better for this. I should have had a knife ready. But here we go. Here's the unboxing. So I'm hoping I'm not going to cut into the board. I'm hoping it's not near the top. You have to excuse my name in the top corner there. Everyone knows who I am in real life anyway. Go. been waiting 2 days for this. I'm really excited to see what it looks like. There we go. Okay, so we're into the box now. Like being a kid at Christmas is this. That shipping address. Oh, I did pull the shipping label off. That's the only thing I've done. Handabeat hurts, or Handabytes hurts. Sorry, I'll pronounce it right. I'll get it right eventually. We just got Intel, boys. Yeah, potentially Intel. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. No promises. But yeah, hopefully GMK School Squadron will be a thing. The shipping address. Yeah. Okay, so I'm really excited to see this. I don't even know if... Oh, it's not here. It's not even there in the box. Okay, so that's the... I thought it was going to be right here, but no. So this is the LED diffuser and the underglow LEDs and a chip to control the underglow LEDs. Nice. So that looks like it's shaped fully for the board. So you can see there, that's the shape and the size of the board. Put that to one side. Okay, so I'm guessing it's under here. Title's just joined right at the right time. Yeah, here we go, guys. Here we go. There it is. The pink TGR Alice. Let's get this out of here. Oh gosh, it's heavy. So there we go, guys. Here's the board. Let's take it out of the packet and get a better look at it. It wraps up well. This bag's nice and thick as well, so it's well protected. Good on Yutski for protecting it. And there she is, guys. Pink TGR Alice. The nice inlaid logo here. I'm tempted to do an infill on this, like I have done on the VEA and the Canoe as well, so we'll have a look at that. Green PCB. I'm not a fan of that. Not a fan of that, but hey, it looks great. Indicator LEDs here. The anode is so smooth. The anodization on this, guys, is unbelievably smooth. It reminds me of the kin boards. Oh shit, Ansi, better give it to you. Yeah, totally. You're gonna get to borrow this. Don't worry. I've already promised you can borrow this. It will never support ISO because of the staggered right sides. It will be the only board other than the Hyper 7 that I have that won't be ISO. Man, yeah, the plate design. Look at that. It looks so good. A couple of things that interest me. So we've got stab cutouts here and here. We don't there, so it must support split backspace. I'm also guessing that we can have a stab here and support split right shift. And we can also support either a split key here or a full key. So it's interesting how we've got the stabilizer supports in some places and not others. So it's not a true fixed layout. It has got multiple options, but really small. I think that's really great. It is really pink. It is really pink. Why did I stop meme Jay? I wanted one of these for a while. My aim is to learn how to use the touch type on the VEA, and I think this will be a great stopgap. Yeah, it looks great. The anno is on point. I wish you guys could see how good the anno is on this. I mean, it's just unbelievably nice. It's so smooth. Let's take a look at the underside and the weight. You can hear the plate rattling around in there, the PCB. The weight's lovely. So it's bead blasted or media blasted weight. The screws here, they're not brass, they're silver, so they must be some sort of chrome finish. R01 on the case, TGR logo in the bottom corner, the lovely Alice logo there as well. I do have a wrist rest coming for the Alice as well, that's been manufactured as a group by Gunner for at the moment as well, which will be a wooden one, and it'll have the Alice logo on too. It's nice to see that these are all hex bolts as well, no screws on there. Absolutely flawless on this anno. I don't know if you guys can see that, but this anodization is absolutely flawless. It's so smooth. It's so much. Well, let's see if you guys can hear the difference here. Let me turn the music off. Let me stop this music just for a second. Let's see if you guys can hear this. So this is back of my fingernail running across the Alice. So next to no noise. But if I do the same thing on the Noxery 268, so if you can hear the difference there. But this is a lot rougher in terms of feel. It's a lot rougher than the feel of the Alice. This is really smooth anodization. Really, really nice. Really happy with it. Okay, let's get the music back I'm not sure if that translated well from a sound perspective onto the stream, but yeah, it is really, really good. No, Zondat's board. So the 268 is one of my favourite boards. I use it all the time. I'm not trying to call anyone out around me. I don't think it's like that. I love this board and I love this layout. And it was actually a gift to me from Dean Glue. I don't know if he's watching, but if he is, hey man. It was a wedding gift to me from Dean, and it's my lucky number out of the AG group buy as well. So I'm not knocking the board at all. I'm just saying it's very different in terms of the anno. The anno on this is so smooth. It's unbelievable. Genuinely the only board that I felt that comes close. This is the TX boards. It's just lovely and super smooth. So yeah. I mean, look at the side profile as well. If you guys want to see that. Oh, interesting. So it looks like there's a difference between the anode colours here. I think this is just the way the light's hitting it on from here, because my light's just in that direction. But there isn't actually a colour difference when I'm looking at it up close. Yeah, I can't spot any marks on there. It looks really nice. A couple of fingerprints where I've been touching it, but no marks as well. Center USB, which is quite nice. I do actually have a pink cable that I got for this as well. This is a special custom cable that Max or Amth from Cable Car Designs sent me this. So this is a pink cable. It's a slightly lighter shade of pink, but it matches quite well with one of the Aviator connectors in there on a coil. So this will be the build going together with that. The keycaps that I'm going to use for this are already just cover the name of this up. Someone's name on the box. These are GMK Oblivion. Oh, there's a Sadster in there as well. Yeah, these are GMK Oblivion. So this is what's going to go on the board, and that will be replaced by EPBT white and black. No, black and white. Yeah, black and white when it arrives. Tidal's been arranging that for me as well. But guys, I've got to be honest with you. I am so happy with this. I mean, the board is really heavy as well. I can't express to you how heavy it is. I mean, yeah, it's a lot heavier than the 268. I know it's a bigger layout, but in terms of key size, there's broadly the same number of keys, but this weighs a lot more. It's just a really chunky piece of metal. It could do some serious damage. Let's catch up with chat, see what's going on. It was clear. What was clear? Oh, I need GMK Miami now. Nah, I don't want Miami. I'm not a fan of it. I'm surprised to say we could hear the difference. Oh, glad you could hear the difference. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the Anno on the 268, but this is definitely smoother. Definitely smoother. How wide is it? What year is this? 1, 2, we've got 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So this is, what, 3U wider? Something like that. So it's like 19U wide, something like that as a board. I don't know what that is in millimeters. Roughly 20 times 19, something like that. Yeah, it's 2 or 3 rows wider. Yeah, the cable's really nice. It's one from Max. Max does a great job. If anyone does want a cable, Cable Car Designs, Max does a lot of my cables. He did this coil in the background that I've been using for about a year. This has actually got a LEMO connector on it as well, which is really, really nice. Really nice, high quality industrial connectors. This one's one of his Aviator connectors, so it's larger than the LEMO, but it's just as nice. Really good bits of kit. Let's have a look on chat. Yeah, it's a couple of rows wide. Cool, quite slim. Yeah, the height profile, I don't know what degree it is on this, but it's not steep at all. It's probably 8, I'd guess. I'll measure it later on, but I'd guess it's 8 degrees. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that. I think it's about 8, maybe slightly shallow, maybe 7. I don't know. I'll measure it later on. It's quite deep at the front. It's quite a lot deeper than the 268 at the front, but that's just due to the layout of the board and the fact that it's much more high profile as well. What switches are going in this one? So this is going to be built with Nixie switches. So I have got an original Nixdorf Siemens board. There's a sound test of that board up on YouTube at the moment. I'm going to desolder it, take the Nixies out of it. This is going to be built with Nixies. So yeah, so we're going to build that in, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks. Finish the VAA, and then this will be the next one on stream after that. And then we'll follow it with the Punchy and the TX 1800 V2, and I've got a couple of duck boards at that point as well, and some other things as well are coming. I've got quite a few builds going on at the minute as well. Shiny pink, yeah, it's lovely. It's really nice, really, really nice. Looks like 7. It might be 7. It feels about 7, 8 degrees, something like that. It's not much more if it is. Did you buy Novelia switches? Yeah, I did buy some Novelias. I've got those coming. Snappo did a bit of a group buy for the UK folks, so they are coming whenever they come into stock. We've got Le Chat Vert in chat as well. The green cat, I think, maybe? I don't know. My French is terrible. Hello, man. Good to see you. Nice seeing a pink unboxing. There's been quite a bit of red and grey posting. Yeah, I wanted to do something a bit different. A lot of my boards are greys or blues, and I have got a couple of, I think you can see a purple board just in the background here. But I wanted to do something really nice and a bit different, and potentially something the girlfriend might use as well. So it's definitely going to be pink and white as the theme. Alright, you mentioned this last stream, my bad. The switches to be used. Yes, I did mention it. Mention the switches, so it will be Nix's. Pretty much feel as new. Nix's, they're barely being used. Looking at the board, it's quite an old board, but it's the donor board is quite old, but it's the switch is in really great condition. Is this a brass plate or a gold anode alu? This is brass, fully brass, definitely brass, 100% brass. Quadenka, I own less keyboards and chairs in this queue. I think I've got about, I don't know. I think I've got somewhere in the region of 24 builds left to do. I am prioritising those in order of what I want to build, though, rather than what I need to do. So yeah, we'll get that. The green cat, is that what I said? Yeah, that's what I said, I think. I'll double check. Or is it just an old bronze cat? Maybe, I don't know. It's a long time since I've spoken any French. Oh, and we've got some bits. Cheers. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Green Cat. To be fair, I wish I had Jay's. Oh, we've got Jess in the chat as well. Cable collection over his keeps. You've still got one of my cables, so you need to sort that out and get that over to me at some point. You're literally the only one who pronounces it well. My French, sorry, the last time I spoke French was in high school, which would be 17 years ago. So my French is terrible. It's not passable. I was fairly fluent though at the time. I did spend about 6 months living in Paris, but yeah, I could barely get by now. I think I can understand more than I can speak, but it's terrible. Assume I don't. You mentioned PCB Color. What colours do you prefer? I just don't like green PCB, so I'm happy with anything from black to blue. So the Hyper 7s that I did, for example, I picked blue colour for those, so they were a nice shade of blue. Yeah, nice. Green's just one of those colours I don't appreciate for a PCB. I think that being said, you're never going to see it. Once the board's built, you're never going to see it. This has got a green PCB in it as well, for example. So, I'm not against it. I just think if you're paying that kind of money, you can pick some. In fact, one of the really, really nice ones was the new E6 V2 PCBs. It was kind of a coppery bronzy colour. That was amazing to look at. I thought that was really, really nice. And I'm kind of jealous that that's in the V2s, because I've got an E6 V2, but it's the round 1.1, and that's just got black PCB in, which is fine, but again, the new ones are really good. Something like 24 boards, yeah, I remember. I think it's something like that. I haven't counted, and I don't dare count, because I'd probably be depressed for months if I counted. Called out, I think you should ship me this cable, his cable instead. Who's shipping cables? No, don't send other people my cable. It's only half the cable that Jess has got. She moved house and she gave me half of the cable, so she gave me I think I've got this half and she's got the other half or something like that. So yeah, we just need to sort it out at some point. Is £155 shipped a good deal for a GMK Solarized Dark Base set? Yeah, that's not bad. I think that's alright. It depends on usage condition, but I think that's a fair price. I've got 2 sets of GMK Solarized Dark that's actually going on the VEA, is one set, and the other set is on my canoe. I think you can just see the canoe just here. That's GMK Solarized Dark as well. So yeah, so I've got 2 sets of that. I think I paid group buy price, which was somewhere in the region of €140 or something, for one, and then I got the second one aftermarket. I think I paid 165 quid at the time for that, but that came with the coloured mods as well. So 155. That's broadly speaking, that's all right. Rama PCBs, yeah, they look great as well. Progress on the VEA, yeah. So on the last stream, we got this half built. So these are Pandelios with Utamu Ice V2 low bubble tops. So basically, it's a Panda bottom, sprit spring, a Zelio stem, and then it's the Utamu Ice V2 top. Really nicely tactile. Lubed with Krytox 106 on the housings and 104 on the springs. The plate's copper. It needs a bit of cleanup. You can see all the fingerprints from where I was pushing the switches in and stuff like that. But it's all fully built. It's all tested. It all works. The other side's ready to go. We'll be doing that on stream on Sunday probably. In fact, if you give me a second, I can show you the other side of the case that I've done as well. So this is the other side of the case. So this is the side that we'll be building up on stream this week coming. I have put some molten copper into the VEA logo and infilled it. I did similar to my canoe with paint, but we actually used copper for this, so it matches the copper plates. So as you can see, it looks something like that on both sides. There we go. It's broadly what it's going to look like. It kind of gives you an idea of how that's going to look. But it'll be finished on Sunday. We'll get that done on stream. It just needs a new PCB soldering up, and then we'll change the LEDs that are in for the controls, so your num lock, your caps lock, that kind of stuff. And then the VEA will be done. The only other thing that will need to be done at that point then is for the tent kit. I've got some walnut wooden inserts coming for that, so they'll be a few weeks away. So while we're waiting, and I've got Pexon making some cables. He said he would have those done by the end of this week. So once those are here, which will include a SATA cable and a USB cable, I'll do a bit of an unveil for them as well, and we'll get the board fully built up, hopefully on Sunday, pending the walnut wrist rest. Penumbra is better than Solarized, fight me. Do you know what? Okay, so I like the GMK Penumbra with the Solarized alphas. That's really nice. How much was Solarized Dark during the group buy? I think it was about €140. I think it was about €140, something like that. Yeah, a lot of people don't have the budget to buy key sets. If you don't, hey man, don't sweat it. One of the nicest key sets to come out is EPBT Black on White. That's just coming out pretty much now. I've got that set coming. Title's helped me arrange that with Keyboard Fans, so I've got that set coming as well. So yeah, I can't wait for that. I think that'll be a really nice set. That actually might supersede GMK Oblivion on this board. We'll see how it looks. Okay. White keycaps, trash. You'd say that about anything though, man. You would. You'd say that about anything. And to be fair, it's a hobby. You know, these things, people like what they like. Different things go different boards. To be honest, actually, this set would look quite nice on here without the coloured spacebar and enters. That'd look quite nice on here, the muted key set. Just looking at them, kind of half tempted to move that over. Interesting if it does support step caps as well. That's always a good thing in my mind. Step caps is probably my favourite way to do caps lock as well. Okay, so this is the. So I'm really happy with this, guys. I can't wait to actually build this up on stream and show you guys it in more detail. Let's have another look at this this base, because I don't know if you guys can see all that detail, but yeah, it looks really good. Really happy with it. That way is just something else. It's so nice, so nice. And as I said, there's just there's no marks in this anodization at all. I'm so happy with it. For the value of this board, I think it's a bargain price. Yeah, GMK Modern Dolch. Yeah, I've joined that as well through the EU proxy, mykeyboard.eu. Really looking forward to that set as well. Yeah, I think that'd be really nice. Yeah, the hobby, as Stokes has just said, actually, the hobby can be expensive, but it all depends on how much you're willing to spend and how much your budget is. You can do it really cheaply if you want. You can buy cheap switches which are just perfect. You know, you don't have to go with the meme switches and the things like the Pandelios and Nixies and so. You don't have to do that. If you want a linear, stock GAT yellow is really nice. Genuinely, I really like those switches. So you know, you can do it. Yeah, not too expensive. Don't really need 15. Who's got 15 keyboards? I don't have 15 keyboards. Am I going to install it with or without underglow? That's a good question, actually. I don't know right now. I'm not 100% certain. I probably won't put underglow on it. I tend not to. I might build it into the PCB and just turn it off, and then if I ever do want to put the underglow in it, I can see what it looks like. I don't know. We'll see. I'll have a think about that, Gio. I'll have a think about that. Arguments for and against, please, guys. If you want to see underglow, tell me. If you don't, tell me not to put it in. I don't know. We'll see. Not too expensive, don't really need 15 keyboards yet. Also, everything can keep the value or goes up in price. Yeah, just about. I could probably sell everything that I've got and break just about even, probably, or maybe even make a little bit of profit if I really wanted to. That being said, I don't really flip things. I'm not a flipper. I would rather just sell stuff for what I paid for it and give people a better deal. That's just the way I like to play these things. You should install it for the stream and show off the LEDs and then remove it when you get back. Well, what I could do actually, Gio, if you think about this, what I could do is I could build the board without it, and then I could do a second stream later on and put the underglare on a second point. Yeah, 2 streams out of one for the price of 1 there. Yeah, just thinking. EBBT beige is like $80. Yeah, it's a nice cheap set. There's other sets that are even cheaper on there. You can get cheaper sets, but it's all about what. A lot in this hobby, you get what you pay for up to a certain extent. So you do get a lot of quality for good money. Whether you class GMK as good quality depends on whether you like ABS keycaps or not. Same as with SP, SA keycaps. If you like good quality, or if you like the colorways and you have the money, I think it's fine. If you don't and you want to do it on a cheaper budget, there's a lot of cheap keycaps that are absolutely fine out there. Just because some people prefer one thing and some people prefer another thing doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the cheaper options. And you know, you should absolutely look at that. I gave away a set of EPBT caps on stream a couple of weeks ago. Max was a lucky winner, and you know that's a relatively inexpensive set. I think it's $60, something like that. It sounds like a lot of money for plastic, but it does the job. And you know, a set like that would last most people like 10 years without wearing out. And you know, you can do it on an even cheaper budget than that if you really want to. So yeah, the PBG Gentleman set is really cheap. Yeah, there we go. I've got a link on there as well. You can get old boards like Avid Users mentioned Model M, and you can harvest the keycaps. So I've done that on a few Alps boards. I've harvested the keycaps off a board that cost me $30. The keycaps are amazing. They're in great shape. They'll last forever. You can put on any different board, and you know, you can go with that as well. I've got tubs and tubs of old keycaps. Some GMKs, some Cherry OGs, and others down to just random Dell boards, you know, to be honest with you as well. So you can do different boards and you can spend varying amounts, but don't ever think for any reason that a board that is cheap or a key set that is cheap is bad, because it's not all. And I see that you've mentioned about all your favourite key sets are up to $250. So few are up there in that $250 plus bracket that they're not even worth worrying about. I mean, realistically, what have you got in there? You've probably got 9009 round 1, you know, SA. I can't even think of the name of it now. The one that looks like the Commodore caps that we saw earlier on. Oh, retro. That's it. You know, that's probably up there in price. Nuclear Data was for a little while. That's kind of dropped now that the rounds just come out. I've seen Muted go for a few quid, but you know, the really expensive keycap sets are next to non-existent. You know, there's so few of them. There's no point chasing things like that. It's very difficult. Yeah, it depends on exchange rates. Yeah, that's true, Gio. That's true, yeah. Ski Data is expensive. I don't know. Ski Data, I got my full Ski Data set with the blue mods. I think that was $195 off of Mech Market maybe 7 or 8 months ago. I don't think that was too bad. I have seen it a lot higher. But yeah. The VA's layout, yeah. So the VEA has been my end game for a long time. I've not tried the knockoffs, but I do know someone that's selling one in the UK. I could probably hook you up if you want me to point you in that direction. I've got Box Navy board. I don't think I'll ever go click again because I'm really disliking the Box Navy now. They're far too loud, and I don't use the board very often. 290 Canadian. Oh, right, okay. 290 Canadian. What's that in real money? Though? That's what 135 GBP, 145 GBP, something like that. Violet tendencies and an accent pack. Yeah, Canadian dollars are a bit different, mate. You're monopoly money. So yeah, but yeah, don't ever let anyone think that you have to spend money to have a decent keyboard. Some of the best keyboards I've used in this hobby at meetups and stuff have been really cheap bits and pieces. 170 GBP. Okay. So $290 is 170 quid. Yeah, I've probably spent more than that on some key sets, and you know, I probably regretted it afterwards as well. I can't stop stroking this anodizer. I don't even notice I'm just stroking this. It's so soft. It feels great. It feels like car paint after it's been polished and waxed. And you kind of touch it and it feels soft. I don't know if that makes sense to anyone, but when you touch paint and it feels soft, it feels really nice. And this just feels the same. It's so different to other Renaults. It's just unbelievably smooth and soft. It's really, really nicely done. Once again, proving that, you know, Yutsuki knows what he's doing. Do I like Topra or Topora or Topra or whatever you want to pronounce it? No. And I like tactile switches, but no, I don't like it. It just feels mushy and it doesn't feel like a mechanical switch to me. It just feels weird. It just feels weird. $190 for 2 packs and for Canadian customs. Yeah, that's about right. Can you suggest to me some affordable, not Zeal PC pricing tactile switches? Yeah, so I really like the mod switches. You can get them from Oko, originative.co. I really like the mod switches, the super heavies, although I do tend to spring swap them. I tend to actually buy the mediums for the colour of the stem, and then I change the springs to the super heavy ones from Sprit. But yeah, I really like mod switches. You can also look at the new replacements for box royals. They're really, really tactile. If you like high tactile switches, I think they're like 40 cents something each. Something else that you can do as well is you can try and find Zelio stems and retooled blues and put the stems in the new retooled blues. They're quite nice, and a lot of people have mentioned to me Halo stems, which is still quite expensive, probably 70 cents a piece for a stem, which is a lot of money. In the Razer housings, Quadenk has been using that, says that they're really tactile, and you know, I take them at face value for that. Heiko violets, yeah, I've not tried the violets myself, so I don't like to recommend things I haven't tried. But I have tried the Heiko True and the Heiko Clear. I tend to prefer heavier switches personally, and I liked the Clear but not the True. I thought the True was a little bit too light, and that meant it felt a bit more scratchy when I was using it. But I've not had those soldered into a board. That's just feel on a switch tester. So yeah, you can take that or leave it as advice. But yeah, if someone recommends something to me, I always like to try it out before I recommend it on myself. But GR, I know you well enough to know that you wouldn't recommend something that's not good. Halo's are going to be around 0.5 to 0.6, yeah, 50 to 60 cents per when everyone gets some shit from MD. Yeah, I think, is it back end of October those come out? I think it's back end of October. I think I've got about 75, 80 of them lying around, something like that. If you want to consider Zelios, save up for them. Difference for the whole board, maybe $30 more expensive, but switches are most important. Yeah, so I like Zelios. I do think they suffer and need a spring swap, if I'm completely honest. I think the springs in Zelios are quite crunchy. But that being said, the V2s are coming out. Zeal says there are changes to the spring and to the stem to make it feel more tactile. I've ordered a couple of hundred of them in various different weights. I think I've ordered 600 switches in total off the mass drop. So I'm going to try those as well. And I'll let you guys know once I've got them, see what they're like. I recommend Utami Sky V2 or Ergo Clears. Okay, so I've got a board, my Noxer X75 prototype, which I built with Utami Sky switches on stream. The switches are really tactile and they are lubed, and even after a week solid of usage, as much as it pains me to say this, I wouldn't recommend them. I don't like the feel of them. That's just my personal preference. They're a little bit scratchy even though they're lubed. Now that is with a really thin lube that's a dry lube. They might be nicer with something like Krytox 104 or something similar. I haven't tried that yet, but Utami Sky, I probably wouldn't do that if it was up to me. I wouldn't pick them. Ergo Clears are nice though. Yeah, I built a Clue board with Ergo Clears a few weeks ago. Yeah, really like those switches. A little bit light for me, but yeah, really like them. We've got Baby Feet's in the chat as well now, coming in right at the end. Owen Glove has Ergo Clears in the time with 63.5 gram springs and loves them. Yeah, I've got 63.5 grams in these retools in this, and I quite like those springs. They are nice, especially when you touch typing. Oh, and the other thing as well that arrived today that I probably didn't show earlier on is these. These are Novel Keys cream switches. So these are the POM housing and POM stem switches. I haven't had much chance to play with these. These only arrived today. But they do feel really nice. If you press them really slowly, they have a lot of friction on, which is probably the friction coefficient of the same material on the same material. But if you're pressing them the switch at typing speed, they feel lovely and smooth. Really, really nice. Now these are unlubed, and we'll see how they go. But I'll probably lube one or two and see if we can put one on something that'll break it in overnight, a little motor or something, if we can rig something up with the Raspberry to just keep pressing it for 12 hours or so. But yeah, I think these are really nice. They feel like they'll sound nice. And I know Chris Wise is a little bored with them, so I'm a little bit jealous of him getting that many. I've only got a handful, and I've got to send a few of these on. So, but yeah, they are really nice switches, really nice. It's interesting the feel of the outside of the switches being in POM. It is unusual, very slippery and quite nice. And then the first switch I've seen apart from blacks that have the same colour stem as housing, which is quite interesting as well. Anyway, that's a small side. What else have we got going to try? Have I tried Kale's box burnt oranges? I have, yes. I've got one in a switch tester. It's alright. If I was going to go box and tactile, I'd go for Royals. That's the bottom line. I might try Gio's recommendation of the Heiko Violets, or maybe go for Heiko Trues. I do have one board built with Heiko Trues, but I'd go box Royals if I'm running tactile and box switches. That's what I'd do. That's what happens when you're on the top clack crew. I'm not on the top clack crew, sadly. But hey, that's just that thing. It's just a heavy brown, is it? Okay, well, yeah, I have one. It's one switch on a switch tester. I don't think that's enough for me to make an informed judgment, to be honest. I'd say I dislike it, but it's one switch. Can't really validate that. What's your number one switch of choice? If I had to pick any one switch, I would probably pick Pandelio, which is a panda stem sorry, not a panda stem at all. It's panda housing with a Zelio stem. Pandelio. Xanders, I think they're called overseas in America, but Pandelios is the common name here in the UK. They're really nice. Yeah, Vomin. Yeah, if you like the Royals, then or the Heiko Royals, then that's entirely up to you. Yeah, so the box royal is really harsh, so you kind of press it a little bit and then you just rush down to the bottom. That is very much how it feels. But yeah, I like the fact that the Royals are super tactile. That's the big draw to me, is that the fact that it's super tactile. The heavier spring would make it feel less tactile though. Yeah, so the heavier springs usually do reduce tactility beyond a certain point and this is something I want to actually experiment on at some point on the stream, but you get more tactility up to a certain point with heavier springs, and then all of a sudden it drops off a cliff and it disappears. So for example, if you put 100 gram spring in a Holy Panda, for example, all of a sudden it feels linear, whereas if you put something like a 50 gram spring in there, it almost doesn't return. It almost grabs and doesn't return, and that feels really weird. So it's varying gains for different bits and pieces. Yeah, and you can sometimes make the bump all the way up. Yeah, so it is really weird because on a Royal you'll press it and then it'll just drop. Oh, and we've got Doggo on stream. If you can see her in the background, she's jumped into a little chair that she sits in the office. Oh, hello. Bless her. Yeah, it's a wild doggo. But yeah, anyway, back to the point at hand. I could talk about switches all day. Switches are really interesting to me, and how people like different things. Anyway, back to favourite switches. So yeah, for tactile, I'll go Pandelios. For linears, I would go for Tangerines. And for clickies, I don't really like clickies, but I would probably have to pick box navies if I was going to pick anything, or maybe box navies. I think I prefer box navies. So yeah, that's what I'd pick. If we were looking at Alps, then Alps brown switches, which I've got a build coming up for. I've got a load of Alps brown switches that I would definitely pick those. And then special shout out to Hyro switches as well, just because they look great. But that's just the way it is. 2 great Ergo boards in such a short time. Yeah, so we'll finish the VEA on Sunday, and once we've done the VEA, this will be the very next build. So this will be a week on Sunday most likely. I do need to desolder the Nixie board first, which I won't do it on stream, but I will make sure that the Nixies are all ready and I'll get them in the ultrasonic cleaner. Now we are going to keep them completely stock. We might lube the springs just a little bit, but other than that we're just going to keep them completely stock. We're not going to lube them or anything like that, just keep the Nixies really nice and natural, and then we'll do some sound typing videos. Now, interestingly, I have heard a couple of these boards built up. I think it's probably going to need some sort of dynamat on the inside just to reduce the noise a little bit. We'll see when it's built up. I'll probably do a sound test with dynamat and a sound test without, and we'll see which sounds better. Use soldering pump or station. So previously I used a desoldering pump, but it was a heated one. But now I've just picked up an actual desoldering station. So I've now got a proper desoldering gun, which this is what we'll be using for us going forward. So there's a little glass cartridge that sits in there, and that will work quite nicely. So that's what we'll finish off all the rest of the desoldering with. It'll be the problem with that is it's probably a little bit too loud for stream, so I probably won't do any desoldering on stream anymore, but that's a really boring stream anyway. We'll just keep the builds on stream. Yeah, it's a ZD. I don't know what the number is, but it is a ZD, so you might be right. Ergo boards will help me to learn proper touch typing. Yeah, so I am learning how to touch type at the minute. This is why I've been using really light linears, just to try and teach myself. It's going okay. It's taking a long time. I'm hoping there'll be a bit of a switch over point where I just flip over from my weird touch typing and hitting space with my forefinger to just touch typing properly with the right fingers. I'm hoping that's just going to click in my head at some point soon, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, the Hackos are really expensive, that's why I just picked up this. I think it was 90 quid off of eBay or something like that. It wasn't particularly expensive, so yeah, we'll see. So yeah, I think that's it for the stream, unless there's any more questions. Box fights really helped me to learn how to touch type. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of box fights, but these are 63.5 gram retool black, so they're really light, really easy, just nice and smooth to use. So yeah, I'll just learn on that, and hopefully then that'll transpire onto here. And then that'll move on to the VEA once I'm actually ready to separate it properly. Because one of the things I have been doing is if I'm typing QWERTY and I type the Y, I'll reach over and I'll press the Y with that finger, and I need to stop and get that separation. Yeah, I'm really hoping that this will teach me how to type properly, and then once I've got it down on this board, then I can switch to the VEA, which will be a lot more separate, and it will be tented as well. So I think that's too big a jump, and this is kind of a stopgap between the jumps. So yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But with that, guys, I think I'm going to close down the stream. It was just a short one today to show you the unboxing of this board. Again, I'll try and take some nice pictures when it's light and sunny outside and get those up, and we'll probably do the build stream a week on Sunday. At the same time, I'll show you guys how I infill these logos as well once we've done the build, or whilst we're doing the soldering. We'll let this dry and I'll show you guys how to do it. I'm going to probably do that in silver, nice bright silver, and then I'll do the same on the wrist rest when that comes as well, because that's got the engraving of the logo on it as well. So yeah, so thanks very much for joining me, guys. It's been really good fun. I love having you and showing you guys this. It was dead difficult to not open this before, so thank you for bearing with me on that one. And I'll catch you guys again soon, probably on Sunday. So yeah, to take care, guys. If you want to catch up, just reach out to me on Twitch or on Discord, Reddit, wherever you want. Happy to field any questions. But yeah, cool. I'll see you later. Thanks very much.